So I'm going to go ahead and press
All right.
All right, Melissa, I'm here with Melissa St. Mary Claire. Melissa, I met you through Marshall Silver's group, correct?
Yes, and it's actually Melissa St. Clair.
St. Clair, did I say that wrong? I apologize.
It's okay.
Forgive me. So what we're here to do, this is just a beginning, so it's going to be straight out the gate, rough content. Forgive us all, everybody. We're just getting it going.
That's right.
you you said that you had started a channel and I have, and that this is the beginning of my channel. So this seems like a pretty good starting point to be able to build connection. Let the viewers know what it is that you do and what you bring to the table and things that you're wanting to connect with people on.
Okay. So basically I am an organizational life healer, which is a little different, I know. But I'm mostly working with women who have issues on self-love and self-respect. And because I know how it goes to be able to have that chance of actually being, it's your turn, our turn to love ourselves instead of all these people having to love them and love them and love them and wanting love for yourself.
So
And
just to sum up what I'm hearing, to clarify and kind of make it into layman's terms, what you're saying is that it's the woman's time to be validated for how they feel and their actions that they do take, rather than seeking validation from others. Is that correct? Is that what I'm understanding?
yes, exactly.
Cool.
Exactly. And also to be able to organize their lives so that, when they live in chaos in their house, their whole house is all disorganized and disarray. It's because it's all showing from what's inside, what's going on inside, being chaotic indoors. And so to take care of that on the outside as well as on the inside. And to help make it feel better, more accomplished.
Correct. I agree. Make it more reflective.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So it's been a really fun journey to have the self-realization of all this going on like that is. So
Sweet. And what is the best way for women out there to connect with you directly, for them to be able to reach out to you and get in touch with you for any kind of coaching or teachings that you offer?
they can contact me with my email. I can also put it on the description down below, as well as put it in here under Sacred Night Rose Healing. Sacred Night Rose Healing at gmail.com.
Okay, awesome. And is the Sacred Night Rose the name of the company that you're going to be under?
Yes.
Awesome. Sweet. And you're the owner of that business, correct?
Yes.
Sweet. Awesome. See, this is Women Empowering Women. I'm also the owner of my business, Rico Menchica Insurance Solutions. I go by Grace Guadalupe. My story is on my website, investwithgracieblue.life. And I know this is a different turn for my channel. We're not going to do too much on the business end of it, but this is what I am looking for when it comes to an audience. I'm looking for other women to also connect with who are in business, who are going through life struggle, who need that empowerment from within as well. Our stories that we have to tell and share are empowering to those who are either going through it or have gone through it and just don't know where to begin. A lot of life experience between the both of our situations can be put out there for people to connect with, and that's awesome to be able to connect with other women who are moving forward with their life rather than remaining stagnant.
Yes, exactly.
That's awesome. So what brought you to your realization with your business?
Well, it's kind of been an interesting journey in the last 3.5 years. I've been really doing a lot of self-reflecting, self-healing, self-realization, and because of it, I have found so much going on with things that I've dealt with in my life that I never even realized that were causing me the problems that I was having, being with the men that I was with, the string of men, unfortunately, realizing the pattern, all stemming from my father, stemming from my childhood. And it's a matter of, I know how it goes, and I really want to be able to see and help other women who are gone through the same thing, and they don't even realize they're dealing with what they're dealing with like that either, or at least not to an extent that they could do anything about it. It's like they feel like they have no choice, and that's where I felt like in a lot of respects too. I felt like I had no choice to be able to better myself. But I finally got to a point where I said, you know what? I've had enough with all of this. I've had enough with all of these men that have caused the problems, and I've allowed myself to have these men in my life. And I'm ready to step it up and level up and make it so much more for myself. And because of what I'm doing for myself, I know there are so many women out there who are going through the same thing I am. And I'd love to be able to help any way I can.
Absolutely, I agree. I think there's from my training through a lot of years of expressing things that I have gone through, I have learned that there's cycles out there, right? And you get stuck in a cycle, and some of those cycles are deemed from trauma, childhood experiences, pre-programming presets that you have to learn to overcome. And in order to break those cycles, it does require a level of overcoming. It's not a victimization phase, it's a I've been there phase. And in order to get that story out there, you definitely have to have the ability to talk about it without it being a re-victimizing situation. And so I feel that that is something that is very, very important to women out there who have gone through trials, and even men. And who's to say that we're not going to be able to connect with men? I can't say that we're not going to be able to, because there is a female perception here. So when we're
Yeah.
talking about our stories and our relationships and things that we've gone through, there we could be speaking to these men that we have let go of our life, the start, those men that we have let go from our life. And there could be others out there that may also share some characteristics or some personality traits, and being able to hear it from a female view on how they created so much trauma, induced so much trauma, I guess is more of the word that I want to say, in a cycle that was trying to not be there. Does that make sense? When you're trying to overcome
Oh,
things
yeah.
in those relationships that you are in, you share certain things, and sometimes those certain things that you have shared were used, they may have been used as a triggering point to be able to be manipulative or controlling. And so being
Yeah.
able to overcome those things creates a community for other women to be empowered and being able to recognize some of those things. So that's where I feel that we'll be able to connect and be able to grow with a community and share our experiences and be able to both at the same time be able to empower other women, and you know get other women to a point where they're overcoming and they're not remaining in a stagnant cycle that they have lived in for so long, regardless of however long that may be, or even being able to get them to stop the cycle before it starts. Recognition.
Well, you know what? One of the things that's really helpful is to be consciously aware of it,
Correct.
to have that level of consciousness, to realize that something's not right here, and this is dysfunctional, and to say I've had enough. And but it has to get to a breaking point for women and men to finally say, what do I do about this? Where do I go to get this help?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to claim I'm a therapist. I'm a life coach. I can share my experience. I can give advice. I don't I didn't go to school for several years to have that therapist and or psychological training behind me, but I have through experiences had to endure. So I learned from those therapists and I learned from those psychologists on things around that. I'm not speaking as if I am one. I'm speaking from a person who has walked those steps. And are you a psychologist? Are you a therapist? No, you've just
No.
lived experience. And so it's a lived experience, a shared lived experience is what we're talking about here. I just want to make
And
that
so,
little bit of disclaimer for people because I don't want them to
yes,
think that we're
exactly,
therapists
exactly.
and or
That's right.
psychologists. I'm not going to be able to diagnose you with any kind of certain personality trait or any of those things. I can only speak on the experience that you are like people are experiencing. And I'm saying this because with it being a YouTube channel, there's probably going to be some young population that's going to come across our channels, some that are in their early teens and don't even realize what cycles of behavior are yet. They just know that what they're living in is it doesn't feel right and it doesn't seem right and it's not normal. And so I want to be able to bring that awareness to them that if something doesn't seem right and it doesn't feel normal, that there's an outlet for you to speak out to, and we are that outlet. We can help you reach out to certain places that can get you help, or be that venting ear, the listening ear for you to vent to, and be able to gain some experienced insight on how to overcome some of those things. And that's not to say that we're not going to have somebody that's also in an older phase of their life reach out for the same thing. So that's an awesome thing to be able to connect to the globe through YouTube
Exactly,
with our
exactly.
experiences.
I
Awesome.
love this.
Yeah.
And it sometimes even having the experiences are much more important than having the psychological certifications and anything like that, because
I agree.
it's like living on the hilltop and not knowing what's going on, but you still have all this wisdom of
I agree. I feel that the textbook answers to things is only going to go so far with people. Um, I despise going to therapists because I get the same textbook answer whether it's not a shared experience when I go through to a therapist and I'm venting out the things that I've gone through and how I've overcome it and questioning things, and it's very much so a textbook. It's never more on a personal note of what I've been there and I've overcome it and here's how I overcame it, and you don't have to be stuck there. It's very very how does that make you feel? The answers are very
exactly.
repetitive and they make I know the objective there is to make them to make you internally as the patient think about processes and kind of doing that life organizational skill that you're talking about that you're implementing as a healing piece within. So that way it's not them coercing or coaching you. You're kind of venting it out and coming to that realization to them. They just have a textbook credential where we're able as lived experience persons able to give them a little bit more direction on okay, that may work, but this may also not work for you. You may relapse or you may fall into something there that you're gonna if you're not stern on what you're going forward with, you may take a few steps back and regress progress that you've already made, or to be
Right,
able to help them recognize, do you see that this is something that you're going into that you've already been through once? Because a lot of times it's not necessarily the experience that we are living isn't necessarily due to repetitiveness with one person. It's repetitive traits within people, right?
right, exactly. And it also, it does help to ask questions.
Mhm.
It does help to ask some digging questions, because how do you know where to start if you don't ask any questions at all?
Correct.
I mean, talking is great, but to be able to ask those certain questions that may trigger something into come to realization.
Correct.
And
Now, with that being said, with triggering responses, are you PTSD trained? Are you able to reground them?
I am not PTSD trained. No.
Okay. I just want to, it's just a question. I am PTSD trained. I am able to coach people and reground them when it comes to anything that may be a triggering response. Just to kind of clear that up and put that out there. That's also something, you know, that I am trained. It may be something that you may want to look into, or something that I could even work with you on to get some
Yeah,
understanding
absolutely.
and little bit of recognition on, just because of the fact that we are opening ourselves to helping people. And there are probably going to be things that trigger, you know, within conversation unintentionally. And so to be able to reground and refocus the conversation so they don't fall into a debilitating phase is something that you could benefit from and they can benefit from as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I do know that, like, I work with the breath work, you know, and to
Oh, yeah.
be able to do the refocus with breath work.
Absolutely. But sometimes, you know, it depends on the level of trauma. So unfortunately, right, with us opening ourselves to the worldwide internet, we don't know what level people are going to come across when they come to your channel or to my channel or to hear the shared experiences. We don't know where they're at. And so when I'm talking about post-traumatic stress disorder triggering, I'm talking about those who can't refocus with just the simple instruction of stop and breathe. 5 seconds
Okay.
in, 5 seconds out, right? Like just listen, that
Right.
those kind of things. I'm able to reground them beyond the breathing technique, because some things they fall into such a disassociation phase that they don't even hear you telling them to breathe.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
They're too disassociated, and it's not anything intentional that you have done. It's just what is good may be come across as what you're opening yourself up to be able to connect with people and heal them. When you're,
Right.
you know, with yours, you're saying an internal. I'm coming from a life coach perspective where I'm going to incorporate, my goal is to incorporate health, wealth, and wellness all together, right? So your mind, your body, perspectively reflecting, moving ahead and building for yourself, where you're looking at the groundbreaking of let's focus, let's look at what you've got going on and how it's reflective to how everything is internal, right? So it's more,
Right.
yours is more of a reflective process, which is awesome. People need that, definitely need that. I watched the
Absolutely.
shore hoarders, and it's funny because my uncle taught us as a kid. He was very, very strict with us. No, you know, no matter how clean our room was, he was very direct with us when it came time to some decisions that we had to make, and we just weren't sure which way to go with them, that to stop and think. And the best way to stop and think and kind of really get a good perspective on anything is to go clean. Even if it's already a clean room, rearrange that room.
Exactly.
Get a different view, get a different perspective, get a different angle on things. I don't consider myself a one-way problem solver. I'm a strategic problem solver. I listen to what the other person is saying. I put in my view, and I kind of think outside of the box at the same time on, well, what directions can it go wrong and how can it be improved? I'm very strategical in that thinking, and I feel that that was groundbreaking from my younger days of being taught to do that internal thought process before reacting to anything or before making any massive decisions or going forward with those things, to do that reflective soul searching, essentially speaking, on going and getting a different perspective on things, because what you reflect on the inside is definitely going to show on the outside, you know. And so there's a lot of progress to be made there, and kudos to you for being the one to try to take that on.
Yes, thank you. And it's very good for you as well for what what you've been blessed with in your childhood. Absolutely. That's huge.
Yeah, my lived experience is all over the place, and I do plan to continue our conversations and create other episodes where we're getting more into depth on what you have gone through and what I have gone through, how I overcame and what you overcame in your lived experiences. and being able to share that process, of course, what would be appropriate with you, the levels on how, what you would be feel more expressively comfortable with. Don't want to force you to express anything, or, that you don't feel comfortable talking about. It's about vulnerability, unfortunately, but
Right.
being vulnerable with others is exactly what's going to build the channel and build connections with people. And so that's what the mass internet is looking for. They're looking for, at least from what I've gathered within my research, they're not looking for a lot of glitzy and glammy textbook operated. They're looking for real connections within the real world to give them real answers, or at least real guidance when it
The
comes to
authenticity.
absolutely, to be very authentic and genuine within what you have to say, and what you bring to the table for them, basically, because not only is this a way for you to heal or for me to heal talking about it and putting it out there, but it's also a way to bring healing to them all together. So that way, as a global United Nation, we're able to heal things that are wrong within our global world.
Exactly. And also what's really nice is that I can be able to go ahead and do that at a level where I'm not reliving it myself, when I can be able to express what happened with me or what went on with me, that I'm not going to sit there and having to relive it all and have these so detrimental feelings about it, when I can be able to express it in the way I can, and to share what I have to share. So
I think I think anytime that you share a story, this is just my opinion, I feel like, I know from my personal experience, when I share a story, I'm reliving it because I want to be authentic about what happened. I don't want to be robotic in the storytelling of it. I'm reliving it as I'm telling it, but I'm not disabled by it.
right, there you go. Right,
Doesn't put me in that re-victimized mode. Um,
exactly.
where I'm not able to move up beyond it, and where my life has deteriorated from expressing exactly, what I have lived through and what I've gone through. It doesn't put me in a stagnant mode. I'm able to say the things that I've experienced, my stories, and still go and make dinner for my kids, do the laundry that we need to do, go clean my house, go take a shower, all that self-care things and domestic duties that I have while I'm trying to build with other people. My
Right.
thing is, I want to build people, because when I build people, they help to build my business. So that's where I'm coming from. And I'm hoping that you are also looking to do the same, which is why I connected with you from Marshall Silver's group. And for anybody who doesn't know of Marshall Silver is a world-renowned hypnotist. He is from our, I'm a millennial, but he is from our Gen X phase, and he was out on the big screens, big talk shows, Sally Raphael, Larry King Live, all those back in our early 90 days. Geraldo, as the world known as the world's fastest hypnotist. He went out to Vegas, landed a show on the Strip, did his show continuously night after night out on the Strip, went into retirement, built his family, then came out of retirement because the world needs his advice. And he saw that and he recognized it, and he needs to get back out there to connect with other people, to continue to build. He realized, just the world around him gave him that realization, and we're so blessed to have him back out here. I very much so distinguishedly remember watching him on the big screen and his infomercials at night, eagerly anticipating any kind of knowledge that I can absorb from him, just because of his lived experience and what he has gone through and how he is able to overcome and build. Very, very empowering man.
He's an inspirational speaker as
Absolutely.
well. I mean,
He's
it's
very, very
huge.
powerful, and much respect to him. And I'm very grateful that he has been reintroduced back into my life as an adult with this new beginning phase of my career. It's very interesting how that came about. He is not a sponsor of my channel. He is not a sponsor of my show. It's just how we were able to connect, Melissa and I, through a
Yes.
group that I attend through to get as much knowledge from him as possible. He does have an opportunity for anybody to reach out and get connected with him through his turning point, you can go to my website under Grace Offers More under Invest with GracieBlue.life and get direct tickets for his Vegas shows. That's all that I have to say on that. And we are running out of time, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. Is there anything else that you would like to say, Melissa, today?
I think we've said enough for now. I think
Okay,
you've
awesome.
worked out very well.
Very well, absolutely. As I said, we do plan to put out more content together. Agreed, Melissa, to build.
Yes, absolutely.
For both of our channels. Please go to Melissa's channel. Melissa, please give them your channel so they can subscribe as well.
My channel is at Melissa St. Clair, and it's Melissa STCLAIR.
Okay.
And you'll be able to find me with no problem.
And I'll absolutely upload your information when I upload the video into the description or an extra, comment for them to be able to access you as well. So that way they can connect with both of us, or you directly or me direct, however it works out for us. That's not the case. That's not the issue here. We're just wanting to make connections.
And what is your channel as well, so it can have them directed to your channel if you'd like?
Is Trillionaire Karma Lifestyle, and that'll be a whole nother discussion on why I'm going that direction. Why I chose that. It is definitely about manifestation, the lifestyle that I have dreamed of since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, and have definitely sought after. So
that's beautiful. I love it. Absolutely. All about manifesting.
All right, everyone. Thank you for your time today and joining us. Looking forward to connecting with you more. Please subscribe, the routine, subscribe, comment, get connected with us all together. Have a great day, and everybody enjoy your weekend.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.